G'day ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the YouTube channel. How we all doing on this lovely afternoon? Ladies and gents, it has been so long since we've had a lovely blue sky and sunshine. Oh, I've been longing for a ride in weather like this, but there just hasn't been given me the chance, man. It's been awful. But without further ado, I do have a fun topic today, ladies and gents, and I have a more serious one later on in the week. But today, without further ado, g'day ladies and gents, my name is Nathan. I make videos on motorcycles and such, and you know what? I'm going to keep on doing it until you tell me to stop. So, today's topic, ladies and gents, is just about the wonders and how great are motorcycles, man. And not just in general, but there is a motorcycle for every occasion. And what do I mean by that? I mean it quite literally as I've said it, ladies and gents. It's true, there is a motorcycle for every occasion. You want to go off-road, on-road, back road, twisty road, mate, it doesn't matter. There's one for every possible instance you could think of. And this is what makes motorcycles so appealing and so good for us riders and riding folk, you know what I mean? And it's such an exciting thing to think about because, like, look, I'm not one for it, but if you want to go down the dirt roads and purely dirt roads, you buy yourself a dirt bike, okay? And dirt bikes are their own level of enjoyment in and of themselves because that's a different type of riding entirely. It's not just like hop on it and ride. Dirt biking is an entirely different skill set. You got a different balance points. You got to learn your rear brake to slide if you want to do slides. Your power control's very different on a dirt bike than on a regular bike, that's for sure, because you don't want to hit too much oomph too quickly because otherwise you're going to lose it. And it's a different and fun kind of riding. Now, I don't have any experience in it, but I know a lot of you guys do, and you can tell me just how enjoyable they are. And I've been told by multiple people to get a dirt bike, and look, I'd like one, but I don't have the capacity. But yeah, man, you want to do dirt stuff, you get a dirt bike. Another good thing you could even do is the good old-fashioned dual sports. If you want to still ride on the road but still go on the dirt parts, dual sports are the way to go. You can even modify a good hyper motard to do such a thing, or a motard of any kind for that matter. If you just want to get around on the town, simple stuff, and I mean real simple stuff. Now, your biking choices are vast. You can get a scooter. If you live in a small little village in a country town, a scooter works well. If you don't like the look of the scooter, you think it's a bit dorky, a nice little naked bike does the job. Or for that matter, a nice little Honda Rebel also does the job just fine. Mumps, did that on purpose, definitely. If you want to go fast, be a real fast boy, you know what I mean? You're a speedy boy. Under that kind of person. You buy yourself a sport bike or a hyper bike, naked. Now, sports bikes, they're a whole different kettle of fish. They're aggressive. You're leaning forward. You're breaking your wrists. You're breaking out your back. You're getting back shots from your motorcycle. Wait, what was that last point again? You're hitting that aggressive positioning. You're really leaning into it, and your bike will reward you for suffering in its uncomfortable ways, because sports bikes, they go 0 to Jesus in Mach nothing. All right, they hit the speed limit in the blink of an eye, and they'll break it in before you can even, reopen it again. Oh man, sport bikes are a whole different level of crazy. Now look, the joys about motorbikes as well is that there's so many different levels to it. You can buy yourself a comfortable sports bike. You can buy yourself a sports touring motorbike to get the comfort and the handling. You can get yourself a hyper sports bike, like a super sports bike. You can get a comfortable little 600 or even a vintage one. They all perform differently, but they all handle very similarly. Obviously, depending on the year and the price, they're going to have different handling qualities due to the nature of the suspension and all that, but they'll stop on a dime. They'll lean. Now, that's maybe more of the only major difference between them and the other ones in the hyper category. But they lean over like there's no tomorrow. You can drag your knees, boy, right across the pavement. You can also fall off and drag yourself across the pavement. But sports bikes are their own different kettle of fish. Now, if you want to have yourself something a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more sensible, you get yourself a naked bike. Naked bikes give you that comfort. You're not too lean forward. You're nice and upright. Some of them are a bit more forward than others. Like, the Speed Triple's a little bit more uncomfortable compared to, like, say, an MT-09 or an MT-10. But guess what? They steal speed. They go fast. They got that torquey engine. Good for little commuting stuff. Good for whipping it around on your weekend for a little bit of fun. So if you need to go out far away to get to your destination, take a naked bike, because you won't die on the way there, and you'll still be able to thrash it around the twisties as well. Now, you can still take any bike anywhere. Some are just better than others. Now, look, not every bike can go off-road, but I've seen people bring the R6 off-road, and guess what? It handles just fine. Obviously, it's not made for it, but it can do it. Every bike is a dirt bike if you point it at the dirt and go, as Shade Tree Surgeon says. But I tells you what, the joys of motorcycles gives you the choice. Now, if you're sort of like how you find me, just cruising around, boy to boy, do I have a motorcycle genre for you. Did you know there's a genre called cruiser motorbikes that, as the name suggests, are built for cruising? I know, it's a bloody, absolutely alien thing to think about. A bike designed for taking it easy, keeping it cheesy? What a world we live in. And look, these bikes, well, they're not fast, but they're not stupidly slow. They look, by the bike standards, they're considered slow, but that's because they're large, they're in charge, they've got more torque than you know what to do with, and they're not made for high amounts of horsepower, you know what I mean? But you can still get a good, decent amount of oomph out of them. And look, you can spend a lot of money on them, more than you should spend money on them, and you can make them fast, but then you spend just as much as the bloody new bikes cost to get out there. Like, say you get a Harley with a Screaming Eagle kit on it, you gotta fork out the big bucks to make that thing purr as it deserves. But look, if it's your only bike and you plan on keeping it, I ain't here to tell you to do otherwise, because be my guest, bikes are cool, dude. I don't want anyone to think otherwise, because I don't like people who gatekeep enjoyment because it's not the kind of bike they like. Very, very common in the internet lands of cruiser and sports bikes. They seem to hate each other for some strange reason, even though we all take the same risks, we all do the same sort of thing on motorcycles, you know what I mean? We're all taking risks, we're all being sausages, riding around, doing stupid things. And you know what? We all have a good ass time doing it too, don't we, boys and girls? Yeah, we're doing stuff. Now, you got the lovely dads of the group, the adventure bike riders. Now, adventure bikes, they're not for me. I'll tell you that out the gate, but I'll happily take one for a test ride. They're large most of the time. They are in charge. But guess what? They also got the bit of performance. They've got great suspension. You can put better tyres on them. You can take these down your trails. You can take them off-road. You can take them on-road. Adventure bikes are meant to be adventured with. That's as the name would suggest. You're really meant to take them around and see the scenes, see the sights, go down paths you wouldn't otherwise go in. You got little things, your groms, great fun, get around town, go down little alleyways you shouldn't, and that's what keeps it exciting. You get your hybrid bikes like mine, man, choices galore. The more you watch this video and you're looking to get a new bike, you might end up struggling because you're like, Nath, I had a bike in mind and you've bloody ruined it with all these bloody options you've been shouting at me. And I'm glad I did. I want you to look at all kinds of motorcycles. One type of motorcycle I think is vastly underrated, the Scramblers. Scramblers are sick, sexy looking things. Great for riding around. You can take them down some off the beaten path sort of stuff. They look good. You chuck some good tyres on them. They are phenomenal little things. They've got nice mid-sized engines most of the time, or mid-sized power. Great torque. And honestly, you'll have some of the best fun you'll ever have in your life. You've even got touring bikes, man. Touring bikes are a whole different thing. Cruisers are made for cruising, right? Touring is made for them long-ass distance touring. Getting across country and stuff. You got your big, like, massive batwing fairing usually on the front. Oh, if you get even bigger, you get your own radio systems, air conditioning, and man, reverse gears. The Goldwing. In fact, the Goldwing gets turned into some cool things. So, just going off the general sense of the bikes, man, you get hyper bikes, super bikes, sports bikes, standard bikes, hyper nakeds, ridiculous nakeds, customs, you know, cruisers, scramblers, dirt bikes, dual sports, motards, adventure bikes. I don't know which ones I have said and repeated, but the point being is the options, they're vast. And if you're only looking at one type of bike, you're looking at a drop in an ocean, man. That's what it is. And unfortunately, you really need to get out and explore these options, because you might find yourself liking something more. And don't even get me started. We get into the modern vintage looking ones, like the modern retro classics. Ooh, gorgeous looking things. You get those vintage looks with all the modern amenities. Triumph looks like it has a carburetor still, but it's actually hiding the EFI system. Oh, I'm feeling a certain kind of way. And I tell you what, none of it is bad, that's for sure. It's just, everything about motorcycles is just, it's just one thing to another. It's always exciting. There's always something new and like cool to look forward to, and that's just so right with me, boy. Now, one of these days, this light's going to change for little old me, and I'll be very happy to finally get on moving and moving, but I'm just happy that there's sunshine. I'm in a good mood. I stayed up real late, aka early in the morning, and I still feel okay. So I'm being chilling. I'm living a dream. Now, ladies and gents, there is one final category of motorcycles. I mentioned it before, but the custom genre of motorcycles. Now, what's a custom one? Well, that's exactly like I stated. You get a Goldwing and you make it into a cafe racer. You get an R6, you turn it into a dirt bike. You get a Panigale, you turn it into a dirt bike. That's been done before, because goddamn, people on the internet be crazy with too much money. You got completely custom motorcycles. Some of you may know there's a guy on Instagram who's building a motorbike out of a Ferrari engine, or the dreaded guy who made that massive beast out of the bloody Dodge Viper engine. Motorcycles, there's a thing for every occasion. And I don't think you should just lock yourselves into just one. And if you have to only have one, go out and try and ride as many bikes as you can, because it will open your eyes to such a vast network and possibilities of different things that you will find yourself loving more and more and more and more as time goes on. And as someone who's test ridden lots and lots of motorbikes, they're all amazing in their own way. And don't hate on those little engine ones, man. Those little engine boys, they are fantabulistic, I tell you. Real good stuff. And honestly, I just don't think anyone has the right to give them as much shit as they get, because those little engine bikes, they boogie. And in fact, you'll probably have more fun on one of them than you will ever have on the street in one, like with a big bike. And that's just my opinion, man. Whew. But ladies and gents, I just want you to get out there and ride everything. Try out new things. Get excited about motorcycles. They're all options galore, and I think the best thing about them is the fact about the options. But that was pretty much my point. Take it home, do with it as you will, but don't get mad at me. I'm just trying to spread the message, man. But that's it for today, ladies and gents. Take it easy, keep it cheesy. You know I love you, but it's time to leave you. So have a good one, and peace. Bye!